One thing that I've realized as a 43-year-old woman, a lot of my trauma has stemmed from being the oldest daughter. Where are the rest of you who are the oldest daughters? And let me know in the comments if you feel what I'm saying. I realized that I had a need to please people. Like, I wanted to put aside my thoughts, my feelings, my own well being in order to satisfy someone else. Because as the oldest daughter, I had to get everything right, right? I had to set the example. Man, I had to be like the mama, and we had a mama, but I was the mama. And then the other trauma that I realized that is I am a perfectionist. And I used to think that I was a perfectionist because I just like things right. And that wasn't the case. My perfectionism got so bad until I got to a point where I didn't allow myself to be myself because I had this version or this idea of who I should be, and it had to be perfect. And the reason why it had to be perfect is because it had to look right in other people's eyes. And from that stemmed procrastination because I wouldn't launch anything, I wouldn't release anything, I wouldn't do anything or feel comfortable doing anything unless it was perfect. And we all know that that is not reality. I go back to my childhood. And it's like, you're the oldest. You have to do this right. You're the oldest. You have to set the example. It's one thing to be an older son, but it's another thing to be an older daughter because at that age, you were given a lot of responsibility. Everything that I did was looked at, and I found myself always setting goals and achieving things because I needed that constant affirmation. I needed that constant applause. I needed somebody to constantly tell me that you were doing well, you were perfect in this. And all of this came from the trauma of me being an oldest daughter. I was taught, and not directly, because don't y'all be coming over here for my parents because they didn't know and they only did what they were taught, right? But it takes somebody to realize, hey, we got to break this cycle here. So don't come from my parents because they did the best that they could do. Anyway, but I realized that I was in an environment where I had to suppress my feelings. I had to suppress what I thought. I had to always be strong. I had to be there for my siblings. And as we got older, everybody dumped on me. My parents did, my sister did, my brother did. Like, everybody came to me with their problems. And as the older sister, I took on this matriarch position and was like, I got to be able to handle it. I got to be the answer to everybody's problem. I got to be the solution for everybody. I got to solve all the issues. I got to solve all the problems. And that led me to have adult trauma. And as I got older, and especially entering into my 40s, where I wanted to become a different version of myself, I really wanted to become the person who God called me to be. It was a tug of war. It was a struggle there because now my real true version of myself was showing up, and it was causing conflict on with the version of myself that I created so that I could please everyone. I'm on the road of freeing myself. I am on the road of literally and fully becoming her, being okay that it's not perfect. There's a lot of work that has to be done in all of this, but me and Jesus have been doing a really good job at it. If you are an oldest daughter, chime in on the conversation and tell me if you've experienced any of these things, or is there anything else that you have experienced that I didn't mention? Let's talk.